We got international races, JTG Doherty news, and Kyle Busch Motorsports news. Let's talk about it. Coming up next. What is going on, everybody? Hope you're doing good today. All right, Adam Stern has reported that it is not if, but when we are going to have an international race, and that has started a stir in the NASCAR community. Of course, the first tracks that pop to mind are Mexico City. Mexico City, obviously, they had the Xfinity Series race down there. Juan Pablo Montoya won that, if I remember correctly. And then, of course, you've got Toronto and you've got Montreal. Both of those would be street courses. And NASCAR is saying this because after the Chicago race, they want to expand into bigger cities. In fact, Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, where I just came from, that racetrack is actually, even though it's a proper racetrack, that racetrack is in the middle of the city. That is sort of the push that NASCAR wants to do. Nashville Fairgrounds, if they can get that actually under control, and they're actually going to do that one, if that comes to fruition, that one is basically downtown in the middle of the city. And this is sort of what NASCAR's new model is. They want to have races in the middle of the city to build up these bigger city fan bases, while also still going to tracks like North Wilkesboro and stuff like that. So those are the first ones to come to mind, but an international race, it begs the question, are we going to the Twin Rings again of Motoga? Is Japan going to get another race? All kinds of questions, but it's just fun to play. So let me know down below which international race you would like to see. I'm leaning towards, personally, like Toronto or Mexico City. Montreal would also be good because Canada and Mexico, they both kind of deserve the great fan bases over there from what I've seen. So both of those would be a really cool fit for NASCAR to get an international race. But let me know down below in the comments what you think. What would be your favorite international track to see? All right, another news. Chase Elliott and Austin Cindric are racing in Travis Pastrana's Nitro RX, the rallycross deal that Travis Pastrana is putting on with his Nitro group. And that's going to be in Arizona. If I'd known that, I might have stayed. I might have slept in my car an extra week here. Who knows? But they're having the other race there. It'll be a rallycross race, and NASCAR fans will have, of course, Chase Elliott and Austin Cindric to pull for in that one. Last time Chase Elliott did this, he drove a Subaru, so it'll be interesting to see what Austin Cindric drives, if he drives a Subaru or something like that, because obviously you have to work that out with your manufacturers and things like that. But either way, it'll be really cool, really fun. I always like it when guys cross over into other genres of racing, just to give it a go and have a good time at it. And that'll definitely be an event to watch. I'll be checking that out, so check that out. All right, on to some JTG Doherty news. Brian Pattie obviously is leaving and going to KBM. We'll get to that in just a second, but his replacement has been named Mike Kelly. Mike Kelly from Roush. He worked with Ricky Stenhouse in the Xfinity Series and won that championship for him in, I think, 2014, if I'm not mistaken. But let's take a look at this quote from the heavy from Ricky Stenhouse. Brian Pattie and I accomplished a lot together and won 2 Cup races at Roush Fenway. It's not easy in this sport. Stenhouse said in a press release, "I'm grateful for our friendship and wish him well in his endeavors. Mike and I and the team will continue our preparations this offseason and be ready for the new year with our Kroger racing partners." So there you go, another combination that will be familiar for Ricky Stenhouse. He has worked with Mike Kelly before, so that will be good from that aspect. And they have won a championship in the Xfinity Series together. And with a newish car, it could give them a slight advantage. Of course, the other thing to factor in here is if Ricky Stenhouse can keep it on the track. Once again, he led the sport in accidents and DNFs once again this season. So once again, if Ricky Stenhouse can get consistent and have some finishes with this new crew chief, I think he will have a much better chance. Obviously, will have a much better chance going forward. All right, now on to KBM, where they picked up Brian Pattie. Of course, Brian Pattie did get 2 wins with Ricky Stenhouse at Roush. Brian Pattie had that car trimmed out and got him the pole several times in the Daytona 500. So Brian Pattie going over to the number 51 truck for KBM that will be anchored by Jack Wood. Go ahead and throw your jokes in there if you would like to. But also, because it's anchored by Jack Wood, that is probably going to be the truck, of course, that Kyle Busch races in as well. So Brian Pattie will be Kyle Busch's crew chief on the truck side. And not only that, but Kyle Busch will have access to however he trimmed out those cars at Daytona to make them faster, coupled with the knowledge that RCR has of restrictor plate racing or super speedway racing as it is now. Kyle Busch might have his best chance this season ever of winning that Daytona 500. So to me, that is kind of why both of these aspects are really big news. Brian Pattie going over to KBM and Kyle Busch having access not only to him, but to the knowledge that RCR has of super speedway racing, I think makes this a bigger move than people are sort of thinking about. All right, but that's all I got for you on this one. Let me know down below what you think about any of this. If you got a question, comment, or anything, of course, drop it down there. If you made it this far, obviously, feel free to subscribe. All your subscriptions mean a lot to this channel. And if you're already subscribed, you know I appreciate you guys a whole lot. And I am going to do a live stream this Sunday, so look for that. We'll keep those going off and on throughout the season. The Tuesday one we'll always do. The Sunday one will sort of be off and on. And other than that, thanks for your time. Peace.